What's up, fight fans? Thank you, as always, for passing by. Loads of boxing yesterday. My God. I'm not joking, like, boxing that I didn't even know was on yesterday. Obviously, David Haye, Tony Bellew will take all the headlines, but some good performances. I think that kid that beat Paul Butler, Rodriguez, there's some competition in that weight classes. Like, Tete will be a great fight, but he just looks so calm, so composed. John Ryder as well. I know Ultra Tech thought that Cox was going to run through him maybe, but John Ryder's looked a bit more composed, and I think it's fair to say that Cox has been George Groves, hasn't he? I think that knockout of Groves, I don't think he's ever going to recover from that, and I think that could be him. That could be him. I think he's 31, and I think to get stopped by Ryder, not sure what's going to happen with him. Boatsi looked good, looked strong. They're going to have to move him, I think, now. Why wait? They're going to have to move him, but it'd be good to see what he can do. Did I say Joe Joyce already? I think I might have. But again, Joe Joyce, good performance, right? I mean, when you look at how Dave Allen struggled with him, that Lenroy Thomas, and for Joe Joyce just to dominate him like that, does look a bit flat-footed, really. If he comes up against someone like a Hughie Fury, I can see him having problems. I can see him having big problems with a mover, but anyone that's going to stand in front of him, look, he's a massive guy, massive unit, so good luck to him. I don't think they need to fast-track him as much as they're fast-tracking him, and he's not 50, for fuck's sake. Just take it easy, right? Commonwealth title. Let's see if they can goad Chisora into fighting him again. I don't think so, but let's see if they can. If not, there's other good guys to look at in the top sort of 20, 30, so he can start climbing the rankings and then potentially fight for something significant in 2019. All right, let's talk Gennady Golovkin versus Vans, a surname I can't pronounce. Some people weren't overly excited about this fight. I know a lot of people probably didn't stay up to watch it. I didn't. I was shattered. I tried to, and then I just ended up falling asleep about 3 o'clock in the morning, so I missed it, unfortunately. But watched the highlights and then watched all of it about 20 minutes ago. Boy, look, obviously people are going to say, look, Vans, it was short notice, and Vans is coming up from 154 and all this stuff, and I agree with all that. There's a couple of things to see with GGD that are obvious. Like, GGD, to me, has never had great foot movement. What I mean by that is speed. I think he cuts the ring off very well. I mean, he gets you into corners you don't want to be in. So, in terms of cutting the ring off, he does it well. But in terms of speed of foot movement, not very good. But because of his high IQ, I don't think he necessarily needs to have fantastic speed of foot, right? I think this guy, remember, we're talking, 300-400 amateur fights, and obviously unbeaten as a pro. He knows how to cut the ring off very, very smart. Watch his fights against Jacobs, Canelo, even Brook. It's almost like no matter how big the ring is, you're thinking you're fighting in a phone booth when you fight against him because you just can't get away from him. So you're having to do things that you don't really want to do. You're having to force. You're having to be aggressive when really and truly, as a fighter fighting against GGG, you want to maybe get into the fight, right? So you want to maybe use the first 3 or 4 rounds just to kind of see where you are. He makes you fight. He doesn't give you that opportunity, and I think it's fucking frightening. Honestly, it's frightening. Vans did 2 mistakes in that fight. The first big mistake was he hit Golovkin in the first round, and he hit him clean. That pissed off Golovkin. The second mistake was he got excited and comfortable. Big mistake. First mistake, hitting Golovkin. I know it might sound strange, but trust me, mistake. Second mistake, getting comfortable and thinking that punch was there again. It almost was, and I tweeted this, it was almost as though Golovkin was told by the promoters and by everyone, look, you need to carry Vans for a few rounds. Don't knock him out in the first minute. And Golovkin was like, okay, I agree. And then as soon as Vans landed on Golovkin, that agreement was over. Golovkin was like, fuck that, I'm hitting you. And that little 4 or 5 punch combination to put Vans down was just brutal. Carl Frampton tweeted something about it. Carl Frampton was like, look at this beast. This is how a beast punches. He really, any boxer coming up should watch the way Golovkin puts power into his punches. He doesn't necessarily use his hips and foot movement a lot, but he just generates so much power. It's vicious. And what he does, he doesn't necessarily waste punches as well. He's really accurate. Though, I think that last 4 or 5 punch combination, I think all 5 punches landed. Vans wasn't getting up from that. Honestly, Golovkin hits like a mule. And I think he kind of tried to reinforce to people that he can still punch. Now, obviously, people are going to talk about some of the other names that he needs to step up and fight now, which is funny when I say step up, like he's not stepped up. But I guess Billy Joe Saunders, Charlo, Andrade, and Jacobs are the ones I keep hearing about. Let me explain why I think GGG beats all of those guys. Don't get me wrong, tough fights, but you beat them all because I don't think you can run for 12 rounds with him. I really don't think. And all of those guys, I think, have better foot movement in terms of knowing how to get out of the pocket. But you can't run for 12 rounds. And when he catches up with you, he will hurt you. That's clear. I think we've done it in all his fights, right? Plus, I think the biggest thing is, I don't think you can hurt him. I've seen this guy get caught clean by guys that I consider quite big punchers. Jacobs I consider to have a big punch. Canelo definitely. And some other fighters as well. Back in the day, Rubio, Martin Murray is no slouch. And even Vans caught him clean. And he literally just shakes it off. Now, how much of that can you continually take? I don't know. It's not like he gets punched often. But when he does get punched, it really seems to have no effect. So those guys are all very well and good. But can they handle the pressure for 12 rounds? 12 rounds against a guy that everyone knows can hit. 12 rounds against a guy that probably has the best knockout record of any middleweight in the history of boxing. Yes, he might not have fought the best middleweights, but nonetheless, he's got a fantastic knockout record. I don't know what you do. Personally, I think he should swerve Canelo. I don't swerve Canelo and come to the UK and fight Billy Joe Saunders. You're not going to earn the same money, but there's a chance to have all the belts if the IBF don't strip him. Why not do it? BT Sports, Box Nation, Frank Warren, they have the box office platform now, so it won't be on regular TV, it'll be on box office. It'll be their first box office fight. I think it could do okay numbers. It's not going to do crazy numbers, but do okay numbers, enough to pay GGG his 3 or 4 million, whatever he wants. I understand why he will chase Canelo. Why wouldn't you? 20 million to 4 million is a massive difference, but have all the belts. You said after when Max Kellerman interviewed you want all the belts, then this is your final piece of the puzzle. Fight Billy Joe Saunders. Get all the belts. Let Canelo fight someone else. And then you and Canelo can finish what you started Cinco de Mayo next year, 2019. And that could be your retirement fight. I think you should do that. Or, if you're not doing that, I think you should relinquish everything and go up to 168 and take on a few of those guys. I don't think the 168 division is hot right now. I think you'll beat the likes of DeGale and Groves convincingly. Why not do that? But for now, credit to him. Credit to Vance for stepping up. And credit to a fantastic night of boxing across both the UK and America. It was a great night of boxing. I haven't watched all the fights. I do want to watch that kid. Is it Ryan Garcia? I want to see what he's about, but I thoroughly enjoyed myself yesterday. And I will say this. It was one of the better match from pay-per-view cards. I enjoyed most of the fights on that card. I can't lie to you. It wasn't a fight that disappointed me. I enjoyed most of the stuff. So I'm not going to critique it, even though I didn't pay for it. Peace.